I have this thing where, I have had friends of mine who have tried to conceive, and there's charts. I've got friends who've done IVF. I'm sure you have too.
Yes.
And, the thing that should have been a great fun thing for a couple it becomes something of a chore with you need to be here now at this time and so on. But so it becomes a little bit mechanical.
Yes, it's a bit transactional, which is a bit strange. But yeah, and I think we were both keen to kind of, get pregnant as quickly as we could because it wasn't a particularly fun thing. It was quite stressful, actually, that whole process of working out, at my age, whether I was ovulating and all that kind of thing.
And Laura, how old are you now? Oh, sorry. How old were you at the time?
So I was 40 in 2019. So I'll have been 41 at this point, just turned 41.
And John? Same age?
He's 3 years younger than me, so 38 at that point.
Okay.
I think it was
so
37.
Both, as we know, men can be dads, till very late in life.
Ronnie Wood, is it the latest?
One of the Stones is having a baby and going on tour at the same time, probably. But the thing is, he's of a certain age, but more importantly, you and your female body clock is at that point of, all right, I'm now at the 40 mark and there's a lot of ticking, all the alarms, you decide to have a kid and off you go. So when was it that you got in fact, before I go to that, you were trying for a baby. Were there any other things that you were doing other than peeing on sticks that helped?
So my mum recommended reflexology. She'd spoken to her reflexologist about the fact that I was trying to get pregnant and I was struggling to work out whether I was ovulating or not. And her reflexologist recommended that I found a reflexologist locally in Newcastle who'd had training in, that sort of fertility type work. And it was absolutely fascinating. So the first time I saw her, she did more of a kind of just general sort of, getting to know me exercise. But then the next time I went, she specifically worked on my feet in specific areas that she knew would stimulate ovulation. And that's exactly what it did. Because I don't have polycystic ovaries, but I have like something similar to that. I have something where I can feel when I'm ovulating. It's like a kind of cramping. And that happened mildly after that second session, which was I probably started seeing her in the September, I think. And then second session, October, third session, November, I knew exactly what was happening then. We were timing it and it was working that, she was helping to bring that ovulation. And then in the December, I saw her, so that'll have been fourth time I saw her. I said to John, right, I'm really confident that this is working. Let's try. And that was it.
And the reflexology, for those that don't know what reflexology is, but they might have heard of the word, what is reflexology? Is it massage?
Specific massage of the feet, yes, on specific points and certain movements on certain points on your feet that, people have reflexology for lots of different reasons. It's quite useful for people that have migraines or have like lots of tension. And if they've got tension in their back, it can help relieve that. And it's a fascinating art, and I don't really understand how it works, to be perfectly honest. But I'm one of those people that, I do have Reiki. I am a believer in sort of, energy and spirituality, and something like reflexology is kind of a mix of the two, really. It does have that very hands-on massage techniques, but it also has things around it to do with kind of more just your general well-being and stuff. And so, yeah, it was something I enjoyed doing anyway, and I found it relaxing. And as much as John is adamant that he got me pregnant, I always tell people the reflexologist did. But to be fair, it wasn't. She helped, but it was John that got me.
Definitely John that did the job. So it's when? The end of the year, aren't we? It must be December by now.
So this is December, just before Christmas. And we've done the deed, and I'm a bit suspicious. So I'm taking my temperature, like you were saying about doing the charts and stuff. I was taking my temperature, and the reflexologist was one of the people that really helped me understand this stuff.
Right.
She recommended a certain type of thermometer for me to buy that had an app attached to your phone, so it automatically updated the app when you took your temperature on a morning and started to create those charts in my phone.
Right.
And between Christmas and New Year, my temperature didn't drop, which it normally would.
Oh,
And she said, if your temperature doesn't drop, be suspicious
right.
that you might be pregnant.
So that's, I mean, you know, we use the euphemism of a bun in the oven, and you know, to keep good, to make the bread rise, you keep it at a constant temperature. And so
Bizarrely, going on.
bizarrely, this is where we're at. We're at this thing where we've got this like temperature, and we're like, okay, so as a human being, as a male, I obviously chance of me getting pregnant as a non-event. So it's new for me, and understanding it and going, right, okay, so clearly there is the question mark, and what did you do then? You got suspicious.
Pre-Christmas, I'd bought a lot of champagne to drink on New Year's Eve between myself, my lovely sister-in-law and my mum. I was a bit worried about that. I had in the back of my mind, you know, that morning, my temperature hadn't gone down still after like 4 days or something. And I was thinking, this doesn't seem right. I'll just do a test. I'll just do one and and John was working in the office because obviously he was working from home still at the time. So he was in the spare room. And funnily enough, because it was Christmas and New Year, Mum was staying with us.
Right.
So Mum and I were in the other room, and I secretly sort of nipped off and did a test in the loo, and then had to keep like calm while it waited those minutes to see if it said I was pregnant or not.